Hello, friend. So, where were we at last time? If I recall, it was a new crime wave. There was fires again, continuing, but it didn't look like one over, like one in the corner, then another one a few weeks later, and just putting them all together. No, it was more of a chain or series of fires, sabotage happening in the same week, maybe twice in the same spot, and then another spot twice again. It was crazy, man. So we could see with our own eyes there was a new crime wave, very concentrated. Something's going on, you know. Of course, there's always something going on, but now it's like there's something more. Probably the same people. Upping the ante right now, you know, there's an effort, there's a concentrated effort. So that's where we were at. And I recall that Mathieu, I think there was Hells Angels who had arrived to Toronto airport, and he got nabbed by officers, and something about they took they raided homes after that, and I think they even grabbed his vest, something along those lines. So that was what we saw last time. And right now, from what I can tell, the news that we're going to read, crime wave part 2, it's not over. It's even the same. I guess it's the same wave, you know. Let's get into it. There's a lot of different stories, man, today, man. So let's get into it, buddy. What's up, Gagnon? Comment ça va, bro? Hey, Gagnon Alain. Ouais. What's up, bud? So, Gagnon, we're looking at Rosemont, La Petite Patrie, so neighborhood in Montreal. This one's fresh. I think it was last night or yesterday. This is the same neighborhood, by the way, where when the BFM kidnapped someone from Quebec City or the Red Zone, they drove him all the way to Montreal. Remember that? And he had like a finger that was cut off, or a toe or something like that. I think he may have been naked. Don't quote me on that one though. And then I don't know why, but they drove him from Quebec all the way to Montreal, and they dumped him in Rosemont, La Petite Patrie. That's the neighborhood. So a vehicle was set on fire. That's what you need to know. So what is this about? Of course, I don't think this has anything to do with the Red Zone, but Montreal has its own sagas, its own storylines, and there's the criminal fires. It was when we started the channel, or when we were starting to cover it. Sorry, when we started covering it, the fires. It was mainly a Montreal thing. Now it's trendy. It's all over the province. You know, now it's super trendy, and I'm expecting it to catch up in other places, other provinces. Sooner or later, they're gonna catch up to this trend. They'll hear about it. Maybe they'll come to this channel. They hear about it. They'll say, yeah, you know, that's the strategy you need to employ. Who knows? But here you go. Rosemont Petite Patrie, vehicle burned last night. Next one, two presumed members of gangs of Laval arrested. So Laval, eh? We have a Mohamed Zarif Nazeri, 18, and a Daniel Rafik, 19, arrested on October 8th. Yeah, okay, we're gonna just try to get data. What I'm interested in is data we can use later on. Yeah, they consider them members of the Chomedey 45 gang, Laval neighborhood, and sometimes called Cho Block Boys, CBB. So also her first, maybe Chomedey 45 I heard, maybe, but I never heard this other alias here. Definitely never. Not to say that they're not known or anything, me personally. And then says, let's just see if we got anything. They're facing stupefier trafficking, and they're liberated under conditions. Okay, no more than this. Okay, what did they seize? Balances, weights, scales. I mean, $38.05 in cash. Small quantity of stupefiers. So they were selling it from different units or whatever. Okay, it was just interesting to see the name of the gangs that they're talking about, the low-hanging fruits. Because as we know, there's different layers of gangs. Then there's prison gangs. And the higher authority, higher level are the ones who will control prisons, generally, will be the more powerful at the very least inside of prisons. And we know there was a hierarchy. The big boys, more like Arab power type. Now we have Arab with attitude, I guess. those ones will dispatch some of it to their minions, little gangs. Maybe you could say baby gangs. And as you see with the H, you got the 18s, and in was it Hochelaga Maisonneuve? It was the other one. Damn, now I need the name. It's not coming. It's the one we talk about all the time. The one who helped dispatch the kid to go, allegedly to go burn the bunker of the Hells Angels, but all under the alleged command of Arrow Power. All right, so we got that. Let's go to the next. Okay, it says there's a video here. It says, I have no idea why they did that. The owner of a duplex targeted by a criminal fire in Montreal is under shock. So I guess we're going to be able to see. Let me zoom out so you can see the whole thing. And take out the volume because we don't have the same volume levels. It might blow up your ears. What do they give us? So I see a hooded person, the usual canister of gasoline, going up the steps. That's the duplex, and he's starting to pour it, right? It looks like he's poured it. Or maybe he didn't. Now he's pouring it. Okay, so I don't know what he was doing. He's pouring. Now he's definitely pouring it on the steps. He did it on the doors. Now what is he doing? He's going back up the steps. I guess he's gonna. That would be a reckless way to light it up here. You want to light it down there. That was reckless as hell. Look at the guy, almost burned himself. Yeah, that was reckless. Should have. I'm not saying he should have, but he could have went down the steps. Didn't like that. It would have caught on. But it's a message. Clearly, it's a message. Now, which neighborhood is this? Did I read it? No, I didn't read it. So let me zoom in here. When did this happen? Yeah, it says the 27th of October, so approaching Halloween. Halloween Mayhem. Maybe I should call this video Halloween Mayhem, but maybe I should keep that because there might be action on the 30th or 31st. Okay, so it's in Côte des Neiges, Montreal. Now we're on the more western side of it, I think, of the island. Côte des Neiges, okay? Yeah, we're not going to... So the owner says he's shocked. He doesn't know what happened, why it's happening. He says he has no idea without reading everything. So this is what the damage actually looks like. Thankfully, he's okay. His house, it sucks. It's like this, but I don't think it caught fire inside, right? Thankfully, everything's all right. It just sucks that... I don't know, man. Maybe insurance, if he has one, if that's how it works, he gets it covered. Yeah, no more info than that. Is this a case of mistaken identity, wrong address? Who knows? But obviously, it has something to do with the underworld. By this point, we're not speculating, even if we don't have any of the facts. That's pretty much what it's going to be. Next one, we have dangerous criminal James Gould arrested with a fire tool in Montreal. So here he is. Looks like a picture from behind bars, because that looks like pretty, depressing place. The tiles in the back. Not sure. But he's got I forgot what you call these two things on the side of the face. He's got the beard. He's got the look. He's not someone you mess with, I guess. That's what they're saying. He was condemned in 2010 for a savage murder of a innocent 18-year-old lady. And he was arrested this Tuesday. So that's something that happened before, and now I don't know how. So he killed. He got sentenced in 2010. So what are we now? 15 years later. So you can kill a innocent lady, and 15 years later you're out on the streets. That's Canada, all right. That makes a lot of sense, And so now he gets arrested again. Why? For possessing a fire tool and 2 suitcases containing almost $1 million cash. All right. I don't know about you, but something tells me he's not a real estate developer. Something about his face. Maybe I'm biased, but something tells me this kind of man is not doing real estate or anything like that. He didn't, in 15 years' time or with a job, accumulate $1 million. But he got pinched in, look at the coincidence, just a pure coincidence, but he got pinched in Côte des Neiges. There you go, Côte des Neiges, NDG. He tried to resist arrest. The woman that was accompanying him was also apprehended. Does she know that he murdered the last one? I have no idea, but the money speaks for itself, I guess. Uh, and she had the suitcase containing $950,000. So he got 15 years of prison for having beaten to death a poor, innocent 18-year-old girl, which he had an argument with, which was his girlfriend at the time. I'm guessing this is the new girlfriend now, and the money is good enough for her. The past is wiped out. She feels safe. Gould was, yeah, okay. It was the homicide of Karina Paola Esquivel Moya, someone that he barely knew. The crime had happened in an apartment in Dorval, so this is probably, what's his name again? James Gould. Yeah, I was going to say he's probably an Anglophone, just based on where he's been living and where he keeps going back. I know my city. So he says Dorval, and then what else we got? He says, liberated from office, Gould was wanted since for the last 3 months. So he was wanted after having ceased to report to his correctional community or something like that. I guess the CO or parole board, whatever they call it. So now he'll appear. He appeared in court. Blah blah blah. The woman, the 35-year-old arrested in his company, was liberated for now, I guess. But they don't want to reveal her identity. They ignore her ties to James Gould. So there you go, guys. Canadian justice continuing. All right, now we go to the red zone. Of course, we need to go back to fires because that's that's all that's gonna be happening. Of course, criminal fire and rounds being let off. How could I forget the rounds being let off? It wouldn't be complete in Saguenay. So we continue the crime wave. This crime wave goes with the previous video. The crime waves were in the North Coast area-ish. Sept-Îles, or is going to be Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean. I remind people that the Hells Angels subcontracted the profits to be collected by one half of the people who are rebelling right now. At the point, it was BFM and Alboivin. BFM leader Ice Pick got arrested. Alboivin still on the run. They did almost arrest him last year. Or was it this year earlier? But anyhow, they almost got him. I think he escaped from the hair of his butt. His girlfriend, though, she did get nabbed. She was on the run with him. And the other thing you have to know is now that they arrested too many members of the BFM, probably more leadership-wise, even there was a point, you remember we covered a bunch of their stories, there's just too many. One of them was one of his people, his mom got killed. They tried to kill him, but they killed his mom. Remember that story? Just remember that for later today. Then I was going to tell you, dang, man, it escaped my memory. There was something key here, but it'll come back, I guess. All right, so yes, they subcontracted it to Alboivin, and then they got the rebellion. Alboivin now is on the run, and yes, the BFM weakened. They seemed to have, some of them seem to have abandoned BFM. The leader's in jail, bro. So apparently they created their own gang called North Savage Gang. And I have my suspicions that they're re-upping or they're working now under Alboivin. So that would make Alboivin somewhat maybe a leader in there. He's the plug. And they need to work in a coordinated fashion. Okay, and now we had the crime wave. The whole was it a couple of days ago? We reported on the week before there was a crime wave, and the crime wave is in these areas. The area that we're gonna read in this article, and we're probably gonna have more. Okay, so Wednesday, 29th October, criminal firing rounds in Saguenay. The place or the home was already a target of the projectiles in 2024. So a vehicle was set on fire on the home. It was the target of a vehicle. Yeah, a vehicle was target. Yeah, because it didn't make sense for me. Yeah, the vehicle was targeted now, and it was already a target when it was not in this area, but in another area of La Baie, but still Saguenay, I guess. Oh no, I misread this completely. So this vehicle was set on fire now. But it was also the same vehicle that was shot at. That's freaking crazy. Is it the same? Unless they did it, the way they worded it, it's like it was two different events. I don't know. Let's just read. Maybe it was the same thing. They shot it and then they burned it. I don't know. Yeah, no, it looks like it's two different events. The vehicle was they're really going after this guy. Man, crazy. Okay, so this happened at 3 in the morning when they found it burning this time. So looks like maybe the same day it was shot at, and now it was burning. Crazy. Now it's Yeah, all right. I think that's about it. Okay, no, it's definitely not the same day. Okay, no, they're saying it was shot at in September 2024. Okay, now it makes sense. Got it. But whose vehicle? I don't know. There's no names. But it says suspects were identified. So they didn't give us the name of the suspects. The suspects who did it. But the guy who owns the vehicle, well known by cops. Okay, let's keep going. Criminal fire in Quebec. A construction business targeted. The enterprise is called Nova Construction, situated in Beauport, Quebec. So we are in this red zone. Now we're sort of flying south. So we were in Saguenay. We sort of going to be flying south from there. Still a red zone area, but the red zone now. Beauport. And they're targeting a construction company. So who owns this construction company? Could it be a construction company indirectly owned by bikers? Could that be it? Because I'm having a hard time believing that Blood Family Mafia has a construction company. So I'm leaning more on that one. So they're targeting them, I guess. They're just saying it's a criminal fire. So no more info than this. I'm trying to double check. Okay, we're good. Next one. Attempted murder in Dusquet. The attack would have been tied. Okay, so there was. I don't know about the other one. I don't believe we read it, but there was a shooting in Lévis. Maybe they targeted a vehicle, maybe they targeted a home, but there was a shooting there. But they're saying that shooting now is also tied to an attempted murder that happened recently in Dusquet. Whoa, you see what I'm talking about when I say crime wave. 2 suspects are accused for the attempted murder in Lotbinière. Were also accused for the rounds being let off the same day in Lévis. So red zone again. So they shot someone. They let off rounds and then they tried to kill someone. So maybe it was they were targeting the same person and they came back and they finished the job or tried to finish the job. But here's the sad incidents here. It says a woman was gravely injured in the attempted murder in Dusquet. This one's Thursday, so it should be today. Oh, by the way, happy Halloween to everybody. I could say it now before it happens tomorrow. It's one of my favorite holidays. Happy Halloween. 2 suspects were accused in the attempted murder in Dusquet. Were also accused for shooting about approximately 2 hours earlier. There you go, in Lévis. So two of them, two situations related. On 22nd October, approximately 9 p.m., gunshots were shot on the window of a home. Okay. In Saint-Jean-Chrysostome in Lévis. So I'm just going to say Lévis. And no one was injured there. So they shot at the house. Warning, I guess. Don't think that you're actually going to manage to kill someone like that. There's a high miss rate. But after that, a young woman did not have a chance. At 11 p.m., so only 2 hours later at night. Suspects erupted inside of her house and shot on her, gravely injuring her before leaving. Man, why would you go inside of this house and shoot this lady? Freaking horrible, man. Devil's Night, Will Hildebrand says, right on. And salute to everyone. A salute to Heretic Crone, Gagnon Alain, Aggressive Bat 34, and Will. What's up, guys? Happy Halloween. Now, Oh, look, so this newspaper says that they were able to consult cameras, surveillance cameras by a neighbor, which showed silhouettes running towards, oh, that means bodies basically, bodies running towards the home of the victim before leaving a couple of instances later. Charlie Hébert Haney, 22, Simon Olivier Roy, 21, were notably accused of attempted murder, assault and introduction, and breaking and entering, but also for discharging a fire tool. They do not have a previous criminal background. They never got caught, maybe. Or they're saying since they became adults. So they had them when they're younger. I don't know the wording here. Now it says, not the right targets. The circumstances surrounding these two events are still nebulous or mysterious at the moment of writing this. So now the newspaper says, but according to our infos, the attempted murder happened in Dosquet would have been the result of a mistaken identity. It's in fact an ex-associate of the Hells Angels who became close to the Blood Family Mafia who was targeted, or that they wanted targeted. So the lady was innocent, they killed the wrong person, but they were actually targeting someone who left the network of the Hells Angels to become close to the Blood Family Mafia. That's what my understanding of what they wrote here. Okay, so the innocent lady, she got a GoFundMe. Someone started a GoFundMe for her. She deserves it. Now, according to her words, what she says now, I don't know where they got it, and she posted it on GoFundMe. She posted a note there somewhat. She would have received about half a dozen projectiles. That's it. So she was shot about 6 times. She says that it grazed her head and left her a scar. One of her dogs who defended her during the aggression was killed by the gunman. Whereas the second dog that she had was injured. That's terrible, man. I love dogs. Dogs are the best. Now, so you're telling you, so if I want to really double, triple check and read this to be 100. But according to our infos, the attempted murder that happened in Dosquet would have been the result of a mistaken identity. It is in fact, or rather, an ex-associate or relation of the Hells Angels who became close to the Blood Family Mafia that was targeted. So there you go, guys. So these 22 and 21-year-old were sent for the Hells Angels network, allegedly. Or for the benefit of the Hells Angels network pipeline. So where were we at now? A bit more details. No, there's not really much details there. They don't want to give any detail. All right, let's keep going. Next one. Oh, this is the actual... Is it the same article? Yeah, maybe it's the same article or just written in a different way. Yeah, it's the same one. My bad. I don't know why I doubled it. All right, next story. This one's October 29th. Hope it's not a double. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. 3 suspects arrested in ties to burning vehicles that was stolen. So I'm trying to think here. Usually the burning vehicles, if they're stolen, well, not usually, very often it was used in a hit. Could this be the vehicle after they killed the lady? Let me just double check the dates here. When was this posted? Okay, it says this happened the 22nd, where they killed the lady, 22nd. So this one is the 29th. So that would have meant that they took 7 days to ditch it. I doubt it. I kind of doubt it. So it's probably not related to this one. Probably not for this hit, if it was a hit at all. Let's read. 3 suspects arrested at approximately 9:45 p.m. in Beauport, red zone. Okay, so the vehicle was reported stolen, guys. So 9:45 p.m. The cops were called, or they localized. Sorry, they localized a stolen vehicle. Here it says, in at the moment where they were about to engage with the driver of the vehicle, this last one, the driver, started to run away, flee. No, no, they did not engage in a chase for security reasons. And numerous patrol vehicles moved towards the sector in order to try to do it, to catch him. Basically, a couple of moments later, a call gets received from 911 concerning a vehicle that's on fire on Terrasse Cadieux in Beauport, and that, which is the vehicle they knew that's the vehicle that they were stopping because it was stolen. Interesting. Okay, so this probably does not have anything at all to do with the hit. Good, clears it up 100%. So, stolen vehicle, the guy's driving it around for whatever reason. Maybe he had just stolen it. Cops spot the vehicle. They go to stop the guy. The guy runs away. Guy, I guess when he didn't run away, he drove away. I guess it's not running. He drove away. And later on, they find the vehicle burning. So, damn, man. The guy how the hell? The guy stole the vehicle and he had gasoline inside of the vehicle ready. I'm perplexed by this. Unless he stole the vehicle and he was driving around, he has the gasoline ready so he can go do the hit, and then on his way to escape after the hit, burn it up. Maybe the hit didn't even happen. That's what it's sounding like to me, you know? What do you think? That's what it's sounding to me, because how come, he has a stolen vehicle, and the moment the police catch him, he flees them, and then moments later, mind you, it's burning. You know what? He had gasoline with him the whole time for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Crazy, man. So they mastered the fire. Look at this: 3 men, all aged 31, were arrested near the scene. They are presently detained. See, they're saying numerous vehicles were set on fire recently in Quebec. A vehicle was set on fire on the 20th of October in Vanier Red Zone. Other vehicles were set on fire recently, notably in the intersection of Crémazie and Turnbull, in the neighborhood of Saint-Roch. I guess it's all Red Zone here, am I right? Citizens signaled a fire on the angles of Saint-Joseph and Saint-Anselme. 2 vehicles were also set on fire in a parking lot behind that one we saw together. I recall. Maybe we saw the other ones too. At this point, I can't recall. But the one with the parking lot, I'm sure of it. In a logement in Chemin Royal, in Beauport, Red Zone. All of it is Red Zone. And finally, another fire happened in Cap Rouge. Man, you see, this is a crazy crime wave. People are on a mission right now. You know, could this be the arms and legs of the North Savage Gang? You know, I'm leaning on it, but you see, it's going both ways here. It could also be the Hells Angels pipeline doing this, because remember, we literally just read, was it 21-year-old and a 22-year-old entering inside of a house? They were targeting someone who was in the pipeline of the Hells, and he switched to the pipelines of the BFM, and they broke inside, they killed the dog, and they shot the lady. Remember, and so at this point, it's up in the air. I can't even assume this is North Gang Savage. It could go either way, man. Crazy, man. All right, we're gonna slow down and come back to maybe for a few moments, and come back to something more unrelated. A couple from a Lower St. Lawrence, I guess, arrested for 53 kilos of cane at the border. Oh, 2 Quebecers arrested at the border for this, man. 53 kilos of cane. Bruno Malenfant, Bruno the Bad Child, 47, and his girlfriend, Joanie Deschênes, 41, were caught at the border in Saint-Bernard-de-la-Colle. So it looks like they were truckers. And you remember, we recently had a little report Did we analyze together the report about the market of cane, what's been happening in the last few years with the prices, and how it's getting in? And you remember the statistic was 90% of the cane gets inside of Canada by land. 90% is by land. So by land, I'm not leaning on the trains here, locomotives or whatever you call them. I think it's pretty obvious it's going to be vehicles, and the vehicles are what other better way than trucking. And we've had numerous or several busts related to trucking. You remember one of the Scopa brothers, Italian mafia. Remember, he had his own network. It's usually from Mexico, and one of the routes is Mexico to California, and then driving to the east of Canada to enter that way. And it was by trucks. Same thing. Here we have it. We have another catch like this to show you more proof of how it's done. We got a couple 53 kilos of cane. You have this flatbed here, it looks like. You have the guy, and you got the girl. Dang, man. There you go. All right. No really more details than this, but you could bet your bottom dollar this has something to do with a major pipeline that was invested in this. Damn, man. It sounds like Ryan Wedding type of levels, All right, next story. A judge, I guess, is condemning a trafficker that's member of a puppet school of the Hells Angels to 44 months in prison. We're not going to reread this because this is an old story. This is just a sentence. Do you remember about a year or two ago, there was a bust of the Marauders? I think they may have went inside of one of their bunkers, makeshift bunkers. I think it's a picture. There you go. And it may have been in a garage shop or something like that. Look, it says it had a bar there with a TV, a gym. And actually, you can see the pictures here. And look at that. Inside of a little mini truck. I forgot what you call these. The cane was probably inside this plastic bag. That's what the cops found it. They were trafficking kilos of cane. We don't need to go back to this story. But anyway, he gets 44 months, but he already served some. He's going to get 39 and left. And here inside of his home, they found of the Marauder. That's what's special here. The Marauder had this chain. This is a Hell's Angel wing, So you're not a Hell's Angel, but you can have a Hell's Angel wing like this. All right, next one. Murder of Jennifer Morin, a suspect arrested in Toronto. I think we may have talked about it. I'm not 100% sure. But there was details in this article, I believe. She opened the door. She thought it was visitors, and they shot her. So she was the mother of a BFMer. She got killed, completely innocent. And the son is arrested now. He's in prison at this very moment. Of course, he didn't kill her, but they were trying to kill him. So that wouldn't be the first time the Hells Angels network sent out goons, and instead of, not that I want that to happen, but instead of killing God forbid, instead of killing the target, they killed a lady. This is twice now. Think about that. Twice. So, where we have, so they caught her killer. 33-year-old was arrested in Toronto. We're going to skip some of this if we don't get any, so we can get some details. Search warrants. Searches happened inside of the home of a suspect in Stoneham and Tewkesbury. The police visited the home of Mathieu Pelletier, a member, Full Patch Hells Angels of Quebec chapter. This is also the son of Marc Tom Pelletier, which is an old school, old-time Hells Angel for a long time. Look at that. Even, I forgot, one of the founding members, he's a relic, a founding member of the chapter in Quebec. So you see, we're getting details here. Mathieu Pelletier was the previous supplier of stupefiers to Ice Pic Turmel, leader of the Blood Family Mafia. before a conflict erupted between both. And you remember they had put bugs on Ice Pick's car months before his escape. They bugged his car. They were planning to kill him probably. And yeah, just a reminder: this May 2025, they shot at Mathieu Pelletier's house. Remember, we covered that shortly. And I think it was Mathieu Pelletier that he got arrested at the airport the other day, right? We talked about that. I translated that for you. Yeah, this is just going back through the story again. I just want to. So, what do you need to know right now is there's raids going on. It seems to be there's raids. 200, or it happened on the 30th September. 200 police officers were deployed in Quebec and Ontario to put their hand on 13 suspects with ties to the murder of Jennifer Morin, assassinated by mistaken identity, but they wanted her son. And the individuals who were pinched were 18 and 51. Now, sorry about that. I'm just reading here. Okay, let's go to the next. All related, don't worry. All right. Arrest of Mathieu Pelletier, the Hells Angels. Oh boy. The member of the Hells Angel was arrested for murder of Jennifer Morin. So, I don't think he's the one who got there and pulled the trigger, right? They said they arrested a bunch of people. A suspect, 33, was arrested, but they said there's lots of people who were arrested. So when they say a suspect, I'm not sure if they mean this is the guy who shot her or he's just a suspect among many. So I don't know about that. They're not clear. But, looks like the murder case is definitely getting pinned on Hells Angels Mathieu Pelletier because he was arrested for the murder of Jennifer Morin. It says it clear as day. It says the arrest of Mathieu Pelletier should calm the hostilities between different criminal groups in the region. For now, it says. So this is Roger Ferland, the investigator of the SQ, ex-investigator. Now he writes books. He says it risks to calm certain gunfires that are happening freely, and the numerous mistakes of identity type of shootings. We know he's the son. We know this. He was arrested at the airport, Toronto Pearson. We know that. So the 33-year-old man will face murder charges, first degree, of Jennifer Morin, killed by mistake in her apartment in Charlesbourg, Red Zone, December 2024. We covered it. It was a blockbuster last year, you and I. And so he's getting arrested. There you go. We got it clearly here. For having plotted the murder of Jennifer Morin. Jeffrey Morin. I apologize. Jeffrey Morin. So that was Jennifer. It's cool. They have very close names. So yeah, he's getting charged for plotting the murder of Jeffrey Morin. Interesting. They're saying that, when you give a warrant, a mandate to get him arrested, well, that mandate, the way it works, it seems that it's only provincial. So he could only get arrested. That mandate is only valid in Quebec. So somehow he was arrested without a mandate. Remember, they said they arrested him at the Toronto Pearson Airport, guys. Very interesting. I wonder if they can just throw the case out or something because, he was unlawfully arrested. Maybe not, because the case still stands, eh? So he will appear in court in the following weeks. Damn. This is a big catch for authorities. It is very rare that police manage to go up the chain to a person that actually commanded these murder crimes without the help of a snitch, says Roger Ferland. And this guy is not a nobody. He did these investigations against bikers and things like that. Influential figure in the underworld of the Red Zone, Quebec City. Mathieu Pelletier represents one of the rare, how could you say this? What is the word? Like follow up person, like how you say successor type. Like you know what? You go, someone takes your place, type of thing. Someone's you're next in line, type of thing. So I say Mathieu Pelletier represents one of those rare instances in the province. He was furnishing the stupefiers to Dave Pictomel before the conflict erupted. This is him. His home, yeah, we know he was. Oh yeah, so his home was raided recently, and it was targeted. We know that he was shot at in May. We read that earlier. And it says, "Oh, look at that." So Roger Ferland makes a big claim here. He says, "This man right there was a little bit the lifeline of the Hells Angels in Quebec." He's like almost saying it's like as if he's sort of saying like they were on life support, and they were only on life support because this guy was holding it. They were counting on him. That's what he's saying here. He's saying for sure they will be weakened now in the region. The group will be weakened in the region for sure. Now, vacuum to fill up with a big player out of the game, and the BFM derailed by the police and all that. The retired officer is expecting that a certain calmness installs inside of the capital. If I correctly translated this, the criminal fires of vehicles and rounds being let off at residences where numerous people who have nothing to do with the conflict were targeted will become less frequent, he believes. Now he says, but the empty void left by the arrests of Mathieu Pelletier risks to be filled up sooner than later. And he says, there is always young influenceables who are waiting to make money without working a job. And that is why we must not stop our work, the police work, in the field, says Roger Ferland. Damn. So I'm going to try to get if there's any more details on the last article on this storyline. He was accused of murder. Yeah, all the details the same. Here he said, according to our infos, Mathieu Pelletier would be controlling the territory of Lévis for stupefier trafficking, where Ice Pick was also active, and the conflict would be at its origin in the fact that the BFM stopped paying taxes to the Hells Angels and buying cane from Pelletier. This conflict equally implicates street gangs of Montreal. It also expanded to other regions such as Beauce, Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean, Mauricie, North Coast, and also into First Nations reserves. Yeah, skip this part. Mathieu Pelletier was an ex-member of the Red Devils. He became a member of the Hells Angels Quebec chapter in 2023. So they promoted him. He didn't get any favors. He didn't just become a Hells Angel like everybody else. He climbed the ranks. And looks like they did depend on him, and they promoted him. He must have been a really this must have been a gift for his hard work. It means that it paid off for them. He made money for them and things of that nature. So he was a Red Devil before. Interesting. It's making a lot of sense. So in the Red Zone area, you want to become a biker, you're no better than Mathieu Pelletier, the son of a founder of the Quebec chapter. If he had to become a Red Devils first, you're going to have to do the work like that too. I guess in that area, you got to be a Red Devils and then think about proving yourself. What else do we have? Shout out to DC. What's up, DC? Chatting with Stacks. Sorry, buddy. I just saw you, bud. How are you, Stacks? Check out Chatting with Stacks channel. I like Stacks. He's from America. He covers all sorts of subjects. He does do Canada, but the difference with this guy is he adds value. If it wasn't for him, we would not have had those great interviews with Canada Crime News or Canada Biker News. Another guy from Canada, was an ex-outlaw member, and in the good old days, 80s and 90s and things like that. We would have never met someone like that, heard about him if it wasn't for Chatting with Stacks. He does great interviews. He asks great questions. So it's my favorite American channel. That's the guy that I would listen to if I were you. So if you check out his channel, it's Chatting with Stacks, Stacks Show. Stacks is Staxx, by the way. Okay, so check him out, and he doesn't do that. He does bikers in America. His forte is America. He does so many different bikers. What's better than getting an interview from an actual people like that? That's better than my channel. You get the real stuff. You hear their voice. Nothing beats an interview, man. And where were we at for the translation? Oh, there you go. Yeah. This is where we're at. A second arrest in 4 months. Now, they're not talking about his arrest. They're talking about another second arrest of a Hells Angel in 4 months. Pelletier is the second Hells Angels arrested and accused of murder this year, since the 12th of June arrest of Jean-Richard Larivière, nicknamed Ace. But that guy is unrelated to this saga. The other one's Jean-Richard Larivière is a member of the Montreal section of the Hells Angels. He got arrested for something totally different, unrelated to this. This last one is accused of the murders of the first degree of Vincent Lamère and Sébastien Beauchamp. So the common theme here is Jean-Richard Larivière and Mr. Pelletier, they did not pull the trigger. The common theme is, according to these allegations, that they ordered the killings. And I want you to remember who Sébastien Beauchamp is. This is not just anybody. Sébastien Beauchamp was an ex-member of the Rockers, the baseball team, the hit squad, the dope dealers for the Hells Angels inside of Montreal, the Feared, and this was also the biker group of Gregory Woolley in the 90s. Probably the favorite. Every subclub has like a sort of godfather, and in the Hells Angels, one member of the Hells Angels is the real godfather for that group. For the Rockers, I think it was Mambouché, so that was his guys, So that's Sébastien Beauchamp, and he got killed about 5 years ago. I'm not certain, but I think it was Frédéric Silva who had something to do with it. Maybe pulled the trigger, but as you see here, recently Sébastien Beauchamp got arrested. Jean-Richard Larivière, Hells Angel, got arrested for that one. Okay, and then they're saying Gaëtan Sévigny, the other guy, he's being accused of getting killed. Sorry, a trafficker of stupefy with which he was in conflict. Jean Larivière, my apologies, Jean-Richard Larivière, is also accused of attempted murder against another ex-rocker, Jean-Guy Bourgoin. No freaking way, bro. He also tried to kill Jean-Guy Bourgoin in a plot aiming to kill him. Damn, dude. So one thing you also have to know, what's very interesting about this, Jean-Richard Larivière is the Hells Angels today. But just for lore, the Hells Angels we are hearing about all these Red Devils, this one, that one. But back then, there was the Rockers in Montreal. I want to focus on Montreal. There was the Rockers and there was the Death Riders. So Jean-Ace Larivière, I believe he was a Death Rider. So the two top subclubs were Death Riders and Rockers. They may have even merged. I'm not certain. Don't quote me on that. Definitely don't quote me on that. But anyhow, it was these two. What's fascinating here is he's killing his people who how do you say this, who are going up with him. Think about that. People you knew, usually you know someone for 20, 30 years, you grow fond of those people. You're like, hey, buddy, we know each other. It's like, oh, man, me and you, we go back. Yeah, you got a certain type of chum, respect, camaraderie going. You get it. Even if you have nothing, like you don't have nothing in common with the other guy, this is what you have in common. It becomes like you'll sort of automatically like the guy, and you know what I'm saying? But look at this. So I'm not, I'm I don't. They may have had that, but despite having that, you look at this. They're still plotting to kill these four individuals without thinking about it, batting an eye. It's crazy, man. Well, La Rivière 57 is waiting court date. Okay. Now, look at this striking fact, by the way. Before this current year, where Jean-Ace Larivière gets charged for murder, Mathieu Pelletier gets charged for murder, we're 2025. So before this year where these two got charged with murder, the last time Hells Angels from Quebec were accused of murder would have been in the framework of the Char QC operation and Springtime operation of 2001. That's a freaking long time. Do you think they never ordered anyone to get killed from 2001 to 2025? Do you think that's what happened? Or do you think that the layering, how they've been engaging their system, the way they buffered themselves has been very successful? I think that if you only got two for the last 20, 40 years, I think it was damn successful. Because I don't believe the other side possibility that no, it's just they never ordered anyone killed for the last 25. Just magically, the drug business required them to kill 5 years ago. Just that 5 years ago. I don't buy it. But it's fascinating to see this, man. It's pretty crazy. You can always learn something. And that's it for today, man. Crazy. Man, they killed it. Very interesting stuff. And yeah, I enjoyed today's data. I enjoyed doing that. Sorry I didn't read the comments. I have to think about reading and translating, and I get lost into it. It's pretty insane. So what? Just see if I can read. I appreciate it, guys. Yes, smash the like for me to help me out. I appreciate that. And also, if you haven't already, subscribe. If you want to help me out, I'd really appreciate it. Click the join membership button, and it's just a donation. It's just a donation to keep helping me do what I'm doing with you here, and I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much, but it's not mandatory, but it's really helpful. And God bless. Thank you. And let me give some shout outs here. Shout out to Gagnon Alain. Thank you, Mountain Woman. Aggressive Bat 34. Thank you, Will Hildebrand, a long time. Thank you, buddy. Heretic Crone. Thank you so much, Heretic. Jesse Marasco, of course. Jesse Marasco. Max the Youth, Mr. Forever Young. Lately we've been talking about his area, the Red Zone, where he resides. He knows this like the back of his hands. The landscape, the beautiful countryside, the city, the neighborhoods. He knows all the names and things like that. So whenever I don't know, whenever I'm unsure, I usually hope he's there so I can ask and say, Max, is that in Quebec? Is that near the Red Zone? And he could tell me. But today my memory was not too bad. I recalled most of the names. Yeah, this is Red Zone, that's not Red Zone, etc. I didn't need to today, But I usually hope he's somewhere lingering around so I can throw and ask him. And we got a shout out to Chris Inslee. What's up, Chris? Thank you, Chris. Daniel Gould, of course. Thank you, Daniel. And Mr. No Name, of course, my No Name guy says, last time I was watching the live, I crashed my car. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. He says, I wasn't at fault. Someone turned into me. Now I'm watching it from home. I learned my lesson. Oh, crap, man. I'm really sorry about that, dude. That's terrible. Yeah, that's a bummer, man. Man, I don't know what I could tell you, bro. That's truly a bummer. That sucks. Sorry, buddy. And Music Brazilian, thank you, Music Brazilian. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you. Brent Fleury, comment ça va, Brent? Brent Fleury. And what's good? Chatting with Stacks as well. Thank you, Chatting with Stacks, for coming here, man. People recognize you, people like you, buddy. Thanks for being here, and give a subscribe to Chatting with Stacks show. It's STAXX, and like I told you, he does interviews. He adds value to what he does. He asks good questions. The people are comfortable when they talk to him. And he's a very hard worker. He's a very hard worker, man. Someone deserves your support. It's definitely people like that. Subscribe to his channel. Check it out. He's got tons of interviews with bikers. I think mobsters in there. He gets I think he got the detective who investigated the Tupac. The guy who was doing the investigation of Tupac murder. I believe he did an interview with him. He gets some crazy people to come interview, man. Where else could you get things like that? So check him out. Chatting with Stacks show. And where else did I miss? DC, what's up, DC? DC's been here for a very long time, man. I appreciate it. DC, what's up, buddy? DC. And Sheriff of YouTube, salut. Hello, right back at you, Sheriff. Salute to Sheriff. Did I miss anyone? I'm trying to triple check. Danny Salvage Music as well. Danny with the Joker icon. What's up, Danny, man? You're the man, Danny. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Danny. We're very kind. Thank you so much. And everybody else, thank you. The silent one, You're very awfully silent, And I kind of like that, You could talk. No, I'm not saying you shouldn't. But I like that, It's a mark of intelligence sometimes, Because I get some whack comments, I get some disrespect sometimes, some so stupid, or so not. It seemed that you think it was obvious. They tell me some stuff. You should be doing this, as if I've never thought about that, And I'm really, really surprised by that recommendation. Everything I do at this point, there's a reason for it, and yeah. But yeah, the silent one always very, very cordial. I appreciate you, man. Like I said, it's not what you say, it's what you don't say. Sometimes that truly says a lot about you. God bless. Thanks a lot. And to everybody else, have a great evening. Thank you.